Hello everyone and welcome to the classroom of WJHI Studios at Jeffersonville High School. We are here today on April 19th with the third episode of More with Mike. I am Haley Adams, your moderator, alongside with the mayor of Jeffersonville, Mike Moore. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Let's start today with your weekend. How was your Easter celebrations?
Easter weekend was a lot of fun. Got to spend some time with my son who was home from IU. He's getting ready to graduate here in a couple of weeks. Baked a ham, had my mom over and my great nephew and my niece. Had a big family outing. My stepsons were over, so had everybody over at the house and started the morning with church at Southeast Christian and just truly a day to thank the Lord for your blessings, but had a wonderful Easter weekend.
Right after our last episode, you announced big expansions coming into Veterans Parkway with a few notable businesses such as Drake's and Academy Sports and Outdoors. How did this partnership come about, and how do you think it will benefit this economy or community?
Well, everybody's going to benefit from having nice choices to either shop at or to go out to eat at, even if you don't go there, because the new revenue stream that comes in from not only more jobs into the city, but the conveniences of shopping and places to go eat. The more you keep that inside the city, the more funds there are for everybody else in the city. So never want to wish ill will for any other city or town. But I hate to see people who live in Jeffersonville go outside of the city of Jeffersonville to either shop or to eat, because we're losing revenue there. So it's a lot more choices now. When I came in as mayor, we didn't really have a lot of selections for places to eat or places to shop. And Veterans Parkway has become one of our hotbeds of places for a financial means for the city of Jeff. And it's when you pull in Drake's and you pull in Academy Sports, those are two national names, and that's good for everybody that lives in Jeff.
Let's start with our first question from our students.
Hi Mike, thanks for being with us today. I'm Sydney Adams. I'm a senior here at Jeff. I'm wondering, a few weeks back we had some really rough storms that went through southern Indiana, and they damaged our equipment barn. Yeah. So I'm wondering how our crews prepared and worked through the tough weather then, and if there's any repairs that need to be done to the city. Well,
they've pretty much already been made, and anytime there's a big storm brewing or the possibility of, we have the awareness and the alerts at our disposal. And our city engineer plays a key role in that. Andy Crouch is somebody a lot of people who may not even know. He's an engineer for traffic, but he's also an engineer for drainage. And a lot of the problems that can be caused by weather-related storms are standing water. So it's kind of important to have all different elements of not only the street department, the sanitation department, the police and the fire, but the engineers, and even the parks and recreation. We've got a team of incredible people who have a lot of equipment, and when a bad storm hits, we generally know the places to go to first to alleviate some of the drainage concerns. But when a big gust of wind comes along and tears up your equipment barn, that's something that you don't usually anticipate. But we've fixed that. Nothing major was harmed other than basically, I think, had part of the roof tore off. But the crews work around the clock, and it's just because it's 5 o'clock doesn't mean it's quitting time. And it's the city of Jeff. We're functioning 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. While you're sleeping and some bad things are happening outside, there's men and women who have a uniform of Jeffersonville on their shirt that, are busy at work and making sure you stay safe. So nobody likes these bad storms that come along, but when they do, we're ready for them.
Well, Mike, I'm very appreciative of coming on the show today. Thank you for that.
Sure.
Yep, I'm Blake Beams. Pleasure to meet you. And so I'm kind of just piggybacking what they mentioned off of the storms a few weeks back. They're pretty bad. As a resident taxpayer, what types of government services are available to the average citizen in relation to whether, emergency services, especially in the weather?
Well, you've got, I don't know if you all ever heard, I think it's the last Saturday of the month. Have you ever been out on a Saturday afternoon around noon and you hear alarms going off? Once a month, these alarms go off, and they're an indicator. They get tested every month, but anybody who lives in and around the city of Jeff is within earshot of this alarm. And I know about a month ago when the storms were going on, I'm sitting on my front porch, but I could hear those alarms going really, really well. So it's an alert that, hey, get to a safe place. The city and the county work in combination together on a lot of things that would be public safety concerns, and we have an emergency 911 system, that everybody's aware. If there's a problem, if there's a danger, if there's a crime, 911 is certainly your first call. But there's many different assets that go along with that 911 call. Is it police related? Is it fire department related? Is it, a catastrophe in the happenings where somebody else needs to get there and assist with the recovery? So a simple 911 phone call for most people, that will get you the answers you need. You don't need to worry about, hey, who do I need to call? What do I need to do? Obviously, we would educate people and tell them get to a safe place, but certainly if you need immediate attention and care, 911 will handle the rest.
Okay, our next question is with Kirsten Elder.
Hello, Mr. Mack. Thank you for coming in. I'm a junior here at WJHI. We know that summertime is coming up very, very quickly and that downtown Jeff will be free from all COVID restrictions. So what do you suggest that people go out and do for
People need to go out and spend money. There seems to be a whole lot of it out there floating around right now. But I think yesterday or this morning, the mandate to wear masks on airlines was lifted, to wear masks on TARC bus were lifted. If I'm not mistaken, this is the first time I've been in here with you all where you all have not been wearing the mask. I was on a plane last week and, it was still mandatory. But, Jeffersonville's economy drives everything that you all are getting a piece of right here. The equipment that is being utilized for this classroom is generated by the revenue that is happening in the city of Jeffersonville and in Greater Clark. So the better we all do in business, the better education we can provide for our students, the more police protection we can provide for our neighborhoods, the more infrastructure improvements we can do throughout the city. So Thunder is coming up Saturday. It's going to be the first real thunder we've had in 3 years. I can't wait. They're calling for 80-degree weather, and inevitably, people are going to be spending money. And when people come out and have a good time and hopefully obey the laws, we're all going to benefit from that. There's nothing better than walking around downtown Jeff, seeing the flowers blooming, the trees in bloom, the grass colorful green, and happy people out just milling around. You're going to see that Saturday at Thunder, but you're going to see that throughout the entire summer, not only in downtown Jeff, but in neighborhoods throughout this city. And the more opportunities that we can provide for you after you go and get that college education or you get that trade skill to come back here, buy a house, raise your children, establish, your well-being, it's going to benefit us from generation to generation to generation. I was a kid walking the halls here in the late 70s and early 80s, kind of clueless to what was waiting for me outside the halls of Jeff I. But as time goes on, you learn to appreciate things, and hopefully you all have had a good upbringing in the city and you want to come back and put your roots down here. But the stronger we can make that for you, the stronger we're all going to be because of it.
Thunder is definitely going to be something our students partake in. Our next question comes from student Julia Hoyer.
Hey Mike, it's good to have you back. My name is Julia Hoyer. So being a big sports fan and a big fan of Jeffersonville basketball, you know we have a new opening for the boys basketball job position. So Mike, what would you say is special about this job? And is there anyone you can think of that might be a good candidate for this position?
Yeah, I can. I have enjoyed growing up watching Jeff High basketball, and actually enjoyed last night. It was a little cold, but got to throw the first pitch out last night at the girls' softball game. So I enjoy everything about Jeff High athletics. I love sitting in the football stands up towards the top and getting a view of the entire campus, because it honestly, it feels like a nice small college. And you know, whatever your interests are, Jeffersonville provides that for you. Jeff High basketball, you know, I've been a season ticket holder for Jeff High since 1966. Some of the best memories I have as a kid, you know, happened inside this building. Some of them happened over at the old field house on Court Avenue, the Ingham Field House. George Marshall was a longtime coach when I was growing up. He left, and we brought in probably what I would say is the most dynamic coach that I can remember in our school's history, Mark Bixler. He wasn't with us very long. He passed on, but he turned a good program into probably one of the funnest programs in the city, or in our history, to watch. Mike Broughton came along and brought us a state championship. We had a few coaches following that. I think one of the things that has kind of hurt us in the last 10 years is we've had way too much turnover in head coaches. And I really think sometimes, not only for coaches, but for any position you're looking to fill, I think it's best to look from within first. Jeffersonville is a very special place, but if you grew up 100 miles away, you don't know what makes us thrive. You don't know what our community is made of. You don't know the different elementary schools and the connections of people who to reach out to. We've got to get back to where we're embracing and bringing back youth basketball and that youth football, everything. If you want to build a solid base, you got to have a great foundation, and it begins when our kids are 4, 5, 6, 7 years old. 1993 was a very special year for Jeff High basketball, boys. We won the state championship. There was a young man in particular, one young man who excelled in basketball, Sharon Wilkerson. He was Indiana Mr. Basketball. Went off to play for IU. Did what a lot of kids do, made a couple stupid mistakes. We all do that. Don't judge people because they screw up when they're 19 or 20 years old. Your life's going to be full of mistakes. Learn from them. Sharon is probably the most inspirational, motivating, I say young man, but he's not a young man anymore, but Sharon Wilkerson, to me, is everything that Jeff High basketball was and needs to get back to. I've talked with the school principal. I've talked with the school superintendent. There's probably a few really good names out there. But to me, I want somebody who knows what it's like to say, I'm proud to be a Red Devil. Sharon Wilkerson is that guy. And I am hopeful Sharon becomes our next basketball coach. And I hope he has a 20-year career here, because that's what Jeffersonville deserves. I don't want to see a coaching change every other season around here. And, but I think we've got some real talent. And Sharon knows basketball. Sharon knows how to motivate young men. Sharon knows how to bring home a state title. That's what Jeffersonville needs.
Our next question comes from a student athlete, Abby Chandler.
Hi, Mike. Many students are currently heading into college or are going to be juniors or seniors. We have something called the Jeffersonville Promise where they can get 2 years at Ivy Tech for free. Can you explain to us how that came about and what that opportunity means for Jeff High students?
It is the most crucial tool the city of Jeffersonville has ever implemented. Ever. It came about with a relationship I have with a good friend, Travis Hare, who is the chancellor at Ivy Tech. Travis is a Jeff High alum. Travis was your assistant school superintendent for a number of years, and Travis was dubbed the chancellor at Ivy Tech a few years back. And he reached out to me with the idea of coming up with something really special, something nobody else had. And we began to talk, and you know, it all comes down to dollars. And I'll go back to what I was just saying. The stronger your economy is, the more tools you have at your disposal. Jeffersonville's Promise is a guarantee that for any kid that graduates Jeff High, I believe it's with a 2.5 grade point average. I'm not for certain on that. Every kid that graduates Jeff High, though, if they want to go to Ivy Tech, we will pay any cost 100% up to no charge for that student whatsoever for 2 years. And you can get you a 2-year degree from Ivy Tech, and we'll put you to work up at River Ridge, because there are jobs up there that are coming in that are not, you know, unskilled, untrained jobs. These are college-educated jobs that are coming in. They're paying $50,000, $60,000, $100,000 a year. We need college-educated students for our workforce. But Jeffersonville's Promise is our pledge from the city of Jeff to anybody enrolled at Jeff High. If you want to go to college, don't worry about the finances. We're going to pick up the tab, and we're going to make sure you do it, and you can graduate in 2 years at Ivy Tech. And again, the jobs are waiting here. There is no other school, no other city in the state of Indiana that can make this guarantee. And this guarantee lasts forever. I wanted to make sure this wasn't just while I was the mayor. We put enough money into a fund where it's going to bear interest forever. The interest earned on that money is going to always be there. So when you all have grandchildren, 30 years from now, Jeffersonville's Promise is still going to be in play, and it's going to be a guarantee that generation after generation is going to always have. And like I said, when nobody else in the state of Indiana can say that, that's sometimes the difference between where a family moves or where a company moves. We've got to be desirable and attractive. It's very competitive. That's probably the best tool that I have at my disposal when I'm trying to convince somebody to come to Jeffersonville.
That is definitely one of the things that all of our students definitely partake in. And our last question is from Carolyn Shepard.
Hi Mike, I'm Caroline Shepard. With about 30 days left in the school year and the seniors about to go off and graduate, what are some things you miss about being a high school student?
Not much responsibility. You all are about to find out, the ones of you who are going to graduate, this time next year, it's going to hit you like those high winds hit Jeffersonville a few weeks back. Everybody laughs. I've got a stepson who graduated Floyd Central last year. Boy, he enjoyed his junior and senior year. Played football, had fun. I kept telling him, you just wait. He struggled his first semester out at IUS. He's in his second semester out there right now. But you know, it's different. When mom and dad are no longer doing the cooking, doing the laundry, paying the bills, life changes. And I would say enjoy every minute you've got of the next 20 or 30 days. But I would suggest you make some goals right now. And I would say, I said this to a group of seniors a few years back, everybody's got to have goals. Sit down and write on a piece of paper, where do you want to be 5 years from now? Where do you want to be 10 years from now? Write that down. Keep that piece of paper. Don't be somebody that just wakes up every morning and doesn't know where they're going. Because when you're 25 years old and you're out on your own and you've got to make, you know, $3,000 a month just to pay the rent, pay the utilities, to pay for your insurance, to pay for your groceries, you might have a kid on the way. Mom and dad, you know, their number one job is to make sure you're prepared for adulthood. And don't count on mom and dad when you're 25, 30 years old. So I hate to sound doom and gloom, but there's a reason you go to school, and that's to get educated. And there's a reason that when you get out of school, you're expected to give back to society. But put some goals down on paper. Have some ideas. Where do I want to be in 5 years? Where do I want to be in 10 years? Keep that piece of paper and look back on it in 10 years. But high school is a fun time. But high school is meant to prepare you for life. I hope you remember that.
We have a treat for you in the form of a bonus question from Kenny Flynn.
Hi, Mike. I'm Kenny, and today I wanted to ask, what does the future hold for the city of Jeffersonville?
I think this graduating class of this year and next year, your future has never looked brighter. And it's because there are more opportunities here in Jeffersonville than there have ever been. I hope you take a lot of pride in knowing that your hometown will pay for the college education of any kid that graduates this school. That's a pretty strong statement. And if you want to know what the future of a city is, look at what they're doing to prepare the students that are coming out today or tomorrow. The jobs are coming at an enormous rate. I've had multiple calls in the past 10 days with the governor's office and the Secretary of Commerce from the state of Indiana. We are on the verge of landing three large companies. One in particular is a $3.5 billion project. If you want to succeed, now's the time you want to be coming out of high school. If you don't take advantage of it, it's on you. But those goals I asked you to write, I hope they include the city of Jeffersonville, because this is where your best opportunities are, right here.
Thank you so much for your time today. And thank you for watching the third episode of More with Mike. From Mike and the entire WJ studio staff, we wanted to say thank you and can't wait to see you on our next episode of More with Mike. This has been a WJHI production.